3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Kerry Greenaway, ParasearchRadio.com here. Now, we did a little show on Friday all about scrying. So I wanted to pop on and show you some of the tools that we actually referred to in that show. That was on the Dark Mirror show on Friday. It's on the YouTube channel just below. So first up, I wanted to show you the crystal ball. Now, this is mine. These are the tools that I use when I'm out investigating. This is my lovely crystal ball. It's quite a nice size. Now, this is the traditional method. Gypsy Rose Lee, gaze into my crystal ball, cross my palm with silver kind of scenario with this one. Now, most what you find on the market are glass, not crystal. Crystal balls tend to be a bit smaller, about 50 mil. You can get them bigger, but they're a lot more expensive. But the glass is just as good, because what you're doing is you're using them as a point of focus. But you can't, when you focus, you're not looking on the outside of the ball. You've got to look deep within the ball. But it's about getting your mindset. If you listen to the show, and we talked about getting into a specific meditative mindset to help link through, and you're using the ball as a point of focus. Now, if you use actual real crystal ball, like John Dee used to use a smoky quartz crystal ball, but that was small, tiny. I went and checked that out at the British Museum, and I was shocked at how small his ball was. Sphere ball. We'll go with sphere, probably, because otherwise I'll start giggling. Rude sense of humour. But yeah, so if you go and check his out, his is actually really quite small, little smoky quartz ball he's got, about 50 mil. And they're generally, a reasonable price on the markets that you can get. But so if you want a nice size one, it tends to be glass, but just as good. But you just haven't got the crystal energy within that. Okay, so that's the crystal ball. Now, another thing that we use in the old investigation world for scrying is a black obsidian mirror or scrying glass. Now, this is my black obsidian scrying glass. I always get the camera wrong. Incredibly polished surface. When you look at a scrying mirror or a scrying glass, you don't want to look head on, because all you're going to do is see your face. And then that turns into a form of physical mediumship. And that's not what you're trying to achieve. So you want to look at it from a slight angle, so you haven't got a reflection in it. And again, you want to look deep within it, not just the surface. So that's how you would use one of these. Another good crystal to use for scrying is something called a labradorite. And that has beautiful play of light within it. There is an official term for that, but I can never remember it. It's one of those long terminology things. And you know what I'm like for those. So yeah, labradorite's really good for scrying as well. I mean, these tools, when you link with a crystal, you're actually helping the energy of the crystal is helping you to attune to that level of thinking as well. But that's a whole different topic, whether the crystals can actually affect your energy levels or not. My personal belief system is yes, they do, but then I work with crystals. So I'm not going to get into the scientific side of things right now, but that's the theory anyway, is that you're using the power of the crystal to help you link through onto the other realms to do your scrying. And so that's the black obsidian mirror. Now, I say that's a nice one. Again, they're quite costly on the market to get a decent size. If any of you checked out, if any of you have checked out any of the prices on eBay, be careful with your Chinese sellers. Some of what they sell is not what you might expect. They class it as obsidian, but obsidian is actually naturally formed glass. So they use the term obsidian when it is in fact a form of resin or a form of glass, but I can assure you mine is real deal. It's very expensive. Anyway, another, talking of that sort of leads into, you can scry with a bowl of water, but don't forget, use a dark bowl underneath so you get that dark surface, or a bowl of ink, which Harry Price used to use. He did? Good old Harry. He used to use a bowl of ink to help scrying with, believe it or not. It's one of his experiments in the field. Now, another form we talked about was fire. Obviously, I can't show you a fire, safety, but I can show you smoke scrying. Now, when you do smoke scrying, the best thing to do is to actually use a loose blend incense. Now, you can use a joss stick, but you only tend to get like one stream of smoke coming up from that. But if you use a loose blend, you need an earthenware pot that with a little charcoal disc inside that burns, as you can see, like a little barbecue, like a little mini barbecue. And then you get a loose blend incense. Now, I developed my own loose blend incenses for different purposes, and I actually made one specifically for spirit gathering, because herbs also have properties, and you can use herbs in the same way that you can crystals. So I made my own loose blend incense called Spirit Gathering, which, if you're interested, is over on Spirit and Soul Island on Facebook. Just message me over there. That's my other side of life. And basically, you put some on your charcoal disc that's burning, and it will give you a nice amount of smoke off of that, as you can see. Smells great too. Get rid of that. And basically what you're doing is you're focusing on the smoke to see images or faces or symbology within the smoke. And then you interpret those into a meaning. But again, you have to have your mindset set into that thing. But you have to sort of, you're seeing into the smoke. This is almost very Native American. I used to use smoke scrying an awful lot. The old things. Right, I'm going to move that to one side. Otherwise, all you'll do is see smoke. Okay. I love that smell. Anyway, so another form of scrying. We talked about crystal scrying before now. We've talked about crystal skulls and stuff like that before now on the Dark Mirror show. But I wanted to show you another thing that I do. Now, this is a crystal point. This is my beautiful crystal point. As you can see, it's absolutely stunning. This is a nice size one. But there is a legend. Every week, Mark finds a alien link, should we say? We defy him every week. We try and pick topics we can't possibly find an alien link, but he does. He manages to go away and find an alien link. And he found an alien link in regards to scrying. Now, this relates back to a tale where, in regards to an ancient civilization called Lemuria. Now, there is a crystal called a Lemurian point, or a Lemurian seed, or even a star seed. Now, these crystals, the legend behind these was to do with the ancient civilization of Lemuria. And when it was their time to go, leave, or they had a foretelling that their country was going to, or it was more like a continent, was going to disappear, they encoded these crystals with information and messages, and then planted them, seeded them in the mountains of Brazil. Now, the civilization then went. There's a theory as to they might have gone back to outer space, or they may well have perished in a massive flood or a massive land disruption, shall we say, at the time. We don't quite know, but there's lots of myths and legends about the Lemurians. Now, if you find a real Lemurian, they can have a tinge of colour to them. Generally, they're quartz, clear quartz, and they have, like, on a face of a crystal. Now, we class that as a face, yeah? They'll have a barcoding on it, or geometrical symbols that look like they're stamped into the actual crystal. Now, again, any form of crystal scrying, you are linking to the crystal to help you raise you to that level, to help download the information stored within the crystals. And on the other side of crystals, it has also been known that if you work, you can ask an occult guide to inhabit the crystal, and then that would be the crystal you would always work with in that way. That's a different topic completely. So that's what I use out in the field. See, giving you a little spoiler for some of the things that I use in the field. Now, I want to change this a little bit. I want to talk to you about a couple of other tools that I use. First of all, is a pendulum. Most people have got a pendulum in their little toolkit. Now, this is a pendulum. This is my little black obsidian one. Now, there is a psychological effect with this. It's called the idiomotor. I always get that word wrong. Where basically it's small, tiny movements from yourself that's causing the swing of the crystal, of the pendulum, which I do buy into. It's the same sort of thing they talk about when they talk about Ouija boards. It's you doing the movement, not a spirit. It's coming from your own psychology. So yeah, I buy into that, get that. What I find, the other side of it I find actually interesting is not so much that factor, but it's the answers that come through. Some of those become more interesting to me, particularly if you find that they're linking in with the history of the place or something like that. That's a whole different topic. And I don't want to go too deeply into these because I want to just talk to you about the tools. So this is a pendulum. Basically, what you do is you ask it for a yes or a no. So am I a girl? And that's my yes. Am I a boy? That's my no. Now, these are great for yes or no questions. Once you get to know your pendulum more, you'll understand the more nuances of the swing a little bit more, but that takes time to build up that relationship between yourself and your pendulum. So that's a pendulum. We use those quite a lot. I use those to find energy hotspots. I use those to check balances of grids. Occasionally I'll use them for yes or no answers, but that's more rare, to be fair. I don't really use it for that. I've evolved with my methods on that one, shall we say. Now, another thing is dowsing rods. Now, the whole topic of dowsing is incredibly fascinating to me. Basically, it's picking up all sorts of that. You can ask your dowsing rods to show you water sources, underground springs. You can ask them to help you find gemstones. It's still used in the mining industry to this day on some level. They don't tell you that. And the water industry quite a bit. Now, these are dowsing rods. Now, mine are copper, but there are many other things. Some people use wood ones. If you don't know about dowsing, then I suggest you seriously have a look. And basically, hello, you're holding them straight. You've got to have quite a steady hand for this. And the swing of these, if they cross, it's a yes. If I can, is that right? Yeah, okay. And then you can go, show me water. Right now I have a glass of water on my desk. So I'm hoping, show me where my water is. Hoping they'll do what they need to do. Show me where my water is. Oh, me. One saying over there and one saying in me. So that's what dowsing rods are. Now, they're really useful if you're outside or in a location and you want to check for earth energy lines, or you want to get the lay of the land, that's, the energies that are running through the property. And also, if you walk around with them, they can show you hot spots as well as to where possible, if you buy into this theory, vortexes and portals are that spirit enter into the realm. But that's a whole controversial topic. And I'm sure many skeptics out there are going, what is she talking about? But that's a belief system. Okay. So that's those as well. So you can get those in wood. You can use coat hangers. I've seen people use coat hangers before now and everything. So I just wanted to come on, do a quickie, just to let you know about, to actually show you some of the tools that we were talking about on that show, the Dark Mirror show on Scrying. So I just wanted to give you a little show of what I use when I go out in the field. Just some of them. I use lots of other bits and bobs too, but that's a whole different ball game. But I just wanted to do that. So anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget, check out all the shows on our YouTube Parasearch Radio channel. We have a brand spanking new one. And if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share to your friends. On that note, listen in every single night on the Spreaker channel for live shows and be part of the discussion in the chat room. If you miss it, it's okay. Goes up on YouTube. On that note, I bid you very farewell and look forward to seeing you in our chat room. Bye.